Let's wind the clocks back. Jalen Hurts versus the Buccaneers. Was the failure of the Eagles more coaching, or was it more of Jalen's failure? Was it Jalen doing what he was asked to do by the coaching staff? Is that a precursor a little bit to what we may see this year? I told you last year's record's fool's gold. You didn't beat anybody with significance. There's not one winning team you beat last year. Football show, please hit the like button, and you know me. I'm here to be a helper. I'm not here to stir anything up, not in any way whatsoever. Not me. Hey, I'm here as an American. And with a day like today, this is a perfect place for us to get away from all that stuff out there and talk some sports where we can all talk about things we love. Sports, your Eagles, football, anything out there on the sports page. Okay? That's what this show is set up for. And we welcome, unlike some places in this country, we welcome everybody in here. So come on aboard here. And by the way, we'll have a spirited debate here today on the topic. I was just talking to my boy Tone, who, by the way, is pinch hitting for Xander. Probably off in some exotic place. God knows where. Probably like somewhere over in Egypt right now, looking at the pyramids on the back of a camel doing something. God knows, or he could be on the Riviera somewhere. You know the rich. And us like, guys with miners' hats on, lunch pails. Me and Tone, we all go to work, man. That's all we do for a living. We're blue collar, man. We're not like, those folks. So I appreciate everybody coming aboard, man. Thanks again for coming in here. You know what? I gotta start this off. Tone gave me a beautiful open here. And I love this. Let's start it and wind the clocks back to the playoff game where Jalen Hurts took on the Buccaneers. I think this is a great conversation that leads us to today on June 24th as we get ready. We're like a month and 2 days out from the start of training camp. No. Now, look at Jones. Oh, boy. Here we go. Wait a minute. This is going to be in favor of your boy. See, Tone, how they are? So pessimistic. She's so unbelievable. By the way, I have a list. No, and it's not the best kickers in the NFL. Thank you. It is not. What up, Zach? Again, everybody, please hit the like button. Let's wind the clocks back. Jalen Hurts versus the Buccaneers. Was the failure of the Eagles more coaching, or was it more of Jalen's failure? Was it Jalen doing what he was asked to do by the coaching staff? Is that a precursor a little bit to what we may see this year? I told you last year's record's fool's gold. You didn't beat anybody with significance. There's not one winning team you beat last year. Okay? There wasn't anybody, and you don't get pats on the back for beating shitty teams. You don't. So you tell me. You think it was really Hurts' issues last year, or do you think it was Sirianni and the coaching staff's issues? How about the other side of the football on defense? I mean, Brady had wide open wideouts. They were going up and down the field like it was a 4x100 relay team. Okay? Jones says coaching. In order of the short, it goes Jalen. Oh, no. Hurts not reading coverage. Aikman pointed to it. Yeah, but how do you know that that's not what the coaches wanted Jalen Hurts to do? I mean, did you come away last year thinking that Nick Sirianni was some sort of offensive mind like Sean McVay in Los Angeles? I didn't. I thought he did a nice job at riding the ship, but I wouldn't call him an innovative play caller, would you? Devin White and Levante David may be the best linebacking duo in the league. You ain't running the ball on Tampa. Thanks for coming aboard, dude. So do you think that game against the Bucs in the playoffs, you think it's more on Jalen or do you think it was more on that coaching staff? You know, the easy question is both, but the player gets put in a position of success. I was just talking to Tone about that. You think Mac Jones goes to the Jets and he has that same success that he had last year in New England? Let's not forget something. He had a pretty decent season last year. 15th in quarterback rating. Team made the postseason as a rookie quarterback. That's not all that bad. And it's because the coaching staff was one of the best coaching staffs, if not the best coaching staff in the league. They put that player in a position to win. I mean, quite frankly, you think there's a lot of talented guys in New England offensively? Can you name me one? Name me one guy that New England has that you went like this. Man, I'll tell you what, man. I'd love to have him on the Eagles. I'll tell you what. There's not a wide receiver up in New England that I would take over any of the wideouts in Philly. Is that fair? There's nobody in New England I would take over what you have in Philadelphia. You got a better O-line than the Patriots. Some would say you got a better quarterback than the Patriots. What was that up there then? It was coaching. It was coaching. Dank says, I think it was Jalen's lack of ability to read what Tampa disguised in their defense. I agree. Heck no, Sills. Coaching helps out players like Matt Jones. Absolutely. Harris is a running back. Harris is a good running back. He is. I don't think Miles Sanders is bad. I just think Miles Sanders is made of paper mache. This guy's always hurt, man. I mean, honestly, right? Was he made of balsa wood? Now, Stephon Gilmore's not there any longer, Chris. Have to say coaching, no adjustment. Zach, amen. There were no adjustments made in that Tampa game. Not until halftime. I mean, the really great coaching staff. Hey, I'll give you an example of it. It was in the Super Bowl. When the Rams lost Odell Beckham, by the way, they were down. What was it? They were down like 17 going into the second half, maybe even the last quarter and a half of that game. If I'm remembering that right, they lose Beckham. They had to have in-game adjustments to figure out how to implement other people in the offense because Cooper Kupp was getting double-teamed after Beckham went down. They figured it out on the fly. That's good coaching. That's being able to put your guys in a position to win. See, I was thinking about that, and as Tone and I were coming on the air, and I'm going, man, you know what? Maybe, how about this? Just to expand on what we said here. Hunter Henry's a pretty good tight end. I really liked him when he was with the Chargers. He's a good tight end. I'll take Dallas Goedert, though. Okay? I will. I'll take Dallas Goedert. And to expand a little bit more on the coaching, all of you guys, listen to this. So Jalen Hurts has been coached by Bill Belichick. Excuse me. Jalen Hurts has been coached by Nick Saban, Steve Sarkisian, Lincoln Riley, Doug Peterson, and then he gets a training wheels coach in Nick Sirianni. That's a downgrade. That's a downgrade in coaching. Sirianni, again, I thought Nick Sirianni did a hell of a job with Phillip Rivers the year previous when he was the OC in Indy. They won 11 ball games, and they pushed the Bills. So I thought he did a nice job in that game. I thought he did a nice job with Phillip all year long. But that's a different style of quarterback. That's an arm. That's a thrower. Jalen's not a thrower. I keep hearing people always making that comparison to him with Josh Allen or some of these other guys. Don't ever compare him to Joe Burrow. He's not. He's not an arm. He's not coming from that place. Jalen wins games with his legs. And he tries fooling you with his arm. Robert Woods went down. Yeah, but I'm talking in the Super Bowl, Steven. Beckham went down in the Super Bowl. He tore his knee up in the Super Bowl. And they had in-game adjustments in that game when Beckham went down. Once Jalen threw that terrible pick before halftime, really ended the game for us. Also, who has Alabama and Oklahoma produced quarterback-wise? Eastside Monster. Well, I think Mac Jones is good. We'll find out this year with Tua. People are high on Jalen. Okay? Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray. I hear what you're saying. We're not talking Burrow and Herbert. You're right. Those guys aren't Burrow and Herbert. Maybe Murray. Yet to be determined. I'm with you. They're kind of right around there. Second-tier guys. They're not on the upper level of tier 3 kind of dudes. The Joe Burrows of the world and the Justin Herberts and the Patrick Mahomes, those are upper-tier guys. I get it. Those are elite dudes. And young. Yeah, and Alabama has a player now that's going to be a first-round draft choice next year in Bryce Young. A.J. McCarron's a backup. He wasn't bad. He wasn't terrible. I wouldn't say he was terrible. But I think it's a great conversation. Once again, spotlighting that this is not always on Jalen. Okay? This is not always on Jalen here. That coaching staff, in my opinion, I'm going to be watching them in their second year too. You know, this is theoretically Jalen's second year starting. I'm also going to be hard on that coaching staff. I don't care what people think of Nick Sirianni and what he did a year ago. I told you again, I thought last year was fool's gold. I'm going to leave it at that. He had a winning record. I'm not going to dismiss it, and I'm not going to downplay it. But if I want to use precedent of recent precedent, Matt Nagy, okay? That guy was the NFL Coach of the Year, won a division title with Mitchell Trubisky, and was fired 2 years later. Okay? Dank says, you know who could throw guys open, and he's in college right now. Don't start me contacting Tyler already. Tyler's very hurt after yesterday on what some of you guys like Chris and some of you guys were saying. He's very disappointed in Chris. He's very disappointed. He said, Chris doesn't want me? He wants me to be a giant? Tyler Van Dyke, Miami. By the way, as you could see, I've got some recruiting to do after the show. I've got to recruit a defensive tackle out of Zephyr Hills after the program, for the program. So I'm helping Mario. And in the process, it was brought up that, yeah, Chris was very down on Tyler Van Dyke. And so Tyler's like, why does Chris hate me? I'm like, Chris doesn't hate you. Or Eastside Monster or some of these other guys, they don't really know you yet. So I'm working it here. I told you I'm a helper. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings here. Okay? All I'm doing here is I'm trying to temper it. And like I said, Tyler Van Dyke can't come on the Big Sill show until week 7. That's the bye when you're 3-3. I got to see more time. Whoa, look at that. Hey, Tyler, I know you watched the show. Listen, I know you're watching now. You're probably watching in Mario's office. Listen, okay? That's what these Philly people are. They want to see more of you, okay? But yet they don't want to see more of Jalen. They're sold on him. Guys like Chris. They want to see more of you, but they don't want to see more of Jalen. Damn, man. That's crazy, man. Yeah, so, hey, Tyler, if you land up in New York and you know that listen, I don't want to have to call the new general manager. By the way, Sean McDermott, gave me his phone number, the new GM in New York. So, I mean, if Chris pushes us there, I got you covered, dude. Or Joe Douglas. I mean, I doubt they're going to move off of Zach Wilson. Here's what I'll do. I'll call Pittsburgh for you. I'll call Philly. And by the way, if we have to do Washington too, it's all good. This is all on Chris. I blame Chris for this. Yeah, he's opened up the door. By the way, I also told Tom Telesco with the Chargers, I'm like, yeah, we got a guy out here, Chris, man. Okay, he's not sold on Tyler. He's like, Tyler Van Dyke is as good as Justin Herbert. That's from his mouth. Okay? Tyler Van Dyke is being compared to Justin Herbert. And you know who else said that? The head football coach of the Miami Hurricanes, who coached Justin Herbert at Oregon. Whose word are you going to take? Matt Nagy or Mario Cristobal? He coached both dudes. Okay? He recruited both dudes. Oh, he didn't recruit Tyler. That was Manny Diaz. Hey, Kenneth, no smirking here. I'm here to help. Hey, by the way, everybody over at the NovaCare Center, don't worry. I'm not listening to Chris all like that. I got it. Plus, I know some plans that you guys are looking at, too. It's all good, man. I happen to think that thing was coaching and Jalen's inability to spot double coverage and to be able to read progressions. But I think it also had a lot to do with the coaching inability. They were afraid. I think they were afraid on how they played on defense and how they played on offense. Dude, so you're going to sit back and let Tom Brady eat your lunch and just throw under coverage like that and just walk his team down the field on you and not gamble? That's exactly what Jonathan Gannon did in that. That's exactly what he did in that playoff game, man. Okay? He just let Brady walk that team down. That's coaching. I give you the inability to read progressions. That Jalen still has to work on that. Okay? But, dude, that coaching staff did not help anybody out that day. That was a poorly coached football team. Poorly coached team. And you saw it going into halftime. This is my boy Tone at the very least. They could have tried to put hands on and feet on Brady. Make him move around. Boy, that's such a great comment. Outstanding. Right? You don't let Brady get back in comfort and let him get back to a spot and go 1, 2, 3 in rhythm and throwing the ball the way he did. What did Brady say too? They did the same shit they did earlier in the year. They did in the playoff game. They never changed anything up. You're going to do that to Tom Brady? That's coaching, my friends. That comes down to coaching. That's why it is. Hey, Jalen may get better, but how much better because of the end of how about this? Do the Eagles have good enough coaching to get to an NFC championship game? No one has brought that topic up. You think that football team has good enough coaching to get it there? And everyone's like, well, they were 9-8, got to the postseason. Unbelievable. Yeah, you beat a bunch of shit teams. Then you want to get kudos for it. Hey, congratulations to the NFL. You did what was asked of you. And when you had to play against good teams, you got worked. No adjustments. That's right, man. Hey, Mike. Exactly. That's why we open the show like that. So I don't want this to always just be about Jalen. Okay? Jalen needs, hey, get this, guys. Did we not see this before when they brought all those guys in for like the Eagle Dream Team? And when they realized it, they couldn't make it work because they didn't have good enough coaches to put guys in positions to win. Right? Hey, how about this one? So you have Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving, and you can't make that work in Brooklyn? Okay, well, that's a coaching thing. I don't care what Steve Nash's name is. and what his resume says. It don't say much as a coach. How can you have 3 players like that on your roster and in your starting lineup, and you can't get out of the first round? Albeit, I get they traded by the time they got to the postseason James Harden, but how do you not make that work? That's coaching, okay? Well, he's Steve Nash. And look at a coach in Boston. He made that work. By the way, wasn't that guy on the Sixers staff? Good night. You let that guy roll out of the building. And Jimmy Butler. Congratulations to you, man. No wonder the Sixers are where they are. I smell a list. Big Sil's list. I do have one. I have a list. That was a Kyrie thing. Oh, he stunk in Boston, and I crushed him every day. Jones says, like I said, Sels, coaching is what I have been and will continue to be fearful of. Let's play it. It gets better. I agree, Jones. I do. You can't coach basketball players. These guys got a bag of money and they don't care. That's why I don't watch the NBA. Hey, man. Hey, Kyrie Irving holding other practices outside of Steve Nash's practices. That guy, he lives in a delusionary world. You know, I actually heard somebody say this. You know, he's only had very few good coaches in his life that it really worked in certain places like Duke and Cleveland with LeBron. I'm like, wait a minute. Kyrie Irving played 11 games for Coach K. He played 11 games. He bailed on him too. Kyrie Irving didn't play like some NCAA season where they got to like the Final Four. He played 11 games. Didn't work in Duke for him. It's never worked anywhere but Cleveland because he was the second fiddle in Cleveland with LeBron. Anytime he's given the main chair or the main headsets, he's bombed. There's certain dudes, man, that'll always be like that. Not leaders. He's one. Do you know what Kyrie Irving reminds me of? He's like the lone fish in a fish tank. Just swimming around, not caring where he is. Feeding time. Go do his own thing. Take a shit wherever he wants in his own little fish tank. He's just one of them dudes. He's got his own fish tank. You know, little sea urchins on the bottom. You know, you got the sunken treasure chest. You open it up, some food comes out for him, surprises him a little bit. He's just a little tiny fish in his own fish bowl. Dude's a worm. What an awful teammate. And watch this. Boy, I'll tell you, that guy's good. Hey, he's good, man. All right. Let me slide into this here. Eastside Monster, tomorrow Big Sills is going to try and convince us to get Kyrie. No, I'd rather have KD. Okay? If I were KD, I'd leave Brooklyn and go to Philly. I don't know how you could make that. I would. So, like, if Kyrie leaves, the only thing you have there in Brooklyn is Ben Simmons. Holy cow. Like I said, Ben Simmons, instead of the name Simmons on the back of his gear, it just should have a giant question mark. The Riddler. Just the Riddler. All right, let me get – hey, too much basketball talk here. All right. Not to stir anything up. Not to stir anything up. This is just a question. And I would like to hear your comments. How do you think Baker Mayfield would do with this Eagle offense? In the NFC, how do you think Baker would? 18 million bucks too. Not the cheapest thing. They could probably get the Cleveland Browns to pay half that salary. Would you take him? 13-3, same as Hurts. No. So wait a minute. You think that Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield? Not according to Chris Sims. Ray goes, yeah, I'd take him in a minute. Okay. I told you what we did all week. We did an exercise all week. You have the best tackle duo offensively and defensively in the National Football League in Hardgrave and Fletcher Cox. And if you want to throw Jordan Davis in there, that's a great threesome in there. You have the best tackles in the NFL offensively in Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata. You have the best center in the NFL in Kelsey. You have the fifth best tight end in Dallas Goedert. And your quarterback is like, okay, just a little bit more. Could Baker Mayfield deliver an NFC championship? How do you think he would? I think he would be good. This is a hypothetical, by the way. But I don't know the end result. Isn't Baker another Sam Darnold? I don't think so. Baker Mayfield was on the best Browns team in 3 decades and didn't do shit with it. No, I'm not sold on Baker. He had a bunch of weapons in Cleveland and couldn't do anything. Well, we'll find out soon enough about your boy. I don't want the progressive guy, commercial bum. Hey, he was injured all last year. Dude, that kid Huntley with the Ravens, I love that guy. I love that kid in Baltimore. Hey, Tone goes, Baker's personality is radioactive. I'm good. Dan, why don't you want Hurts to see? Oh, it's a hypothetical. What do you mean? How do you think Baker Mayfield would do with the Eagles? Here, let me find another one for you. Let me check this out here. By the way, don't calm yourself down a little bit here, man. Let me see something here. What is Jimmy Garoppolo's record as a starting quarterback in the NFL?
According to PFF, wins are certainly not explicitly a quarterback statistic, but the 49ers now have a 35-15 record with Garoppolo as a starter, and people within the NFL have a hard time ignoring that.
So Jimmy G's 35-15, 5-2 in the postseason. So he's 40-17? Wait, let me look at that. Wow, this guy's got a 700 win percentage. My point is, man, hey, I got a list here. You know it's coming. Baker's 29-30 as a starter in Cleveland. Cleveland does play in the AFC, a tad bit stronger of a conference than the NFC. If the Eagles played in the AFC last year, they'd have won 6 games. They'd have won 6 games. Can you imagine if you were in the AFC West? They may not have won a game in a conference or in the division. Let's see here. See, I knew it. Sills, you're trying to get rid of our quarter. I'm not trying to get rid. I am always looking to improve. Sills, I'd rather have Jacoby Brissett over Baker any day. I actually like Jacoby. I do. He's kind of like Jalen. Like I told you yesterday, the only comparison you can have with Jalen Hurts is Colin Kaepernick, really. If you look at the stats, they're pretty similar. They're similar in stats. Right down the line, too. Xander and I looked at the stats. We couldn't believe how close they were. You're not going to compare him to any of these passing guys. Big Sil's paid by the Eagles to soften the blow. Oh, ye of little faith. You always hate it. I asked you how Baker Mayfield would do with your Eagle team. It's not a hating. What has Jacoby Brissett done? Good point. Good. That's a good point. That's a good one. What's Jacoby Brissett's winning percentage in the NFL as a starting quarterback? He is he's 14 and 23. He's 14 and I like Jacoby though, man. I do. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Jacoby Brissett. Man, if Baker Mayfield was the starting quarterback with the Eagles, man, would they win more games? Well, we're going to put a little bit more pressure on you guys. It's list time. I'm going to do that after the timeout. It's list time. Get ready. Baker's a locker room cancer. You want to know something? I hate his ass too. Okay? I actually like Jacoby Brissett too, man. Hey, guys, don't forget my boys at Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free. If you're hurt or injured on the job, do me a favor. Make sure you reach out to my friends at Morgan & Morgan over the weekend for you to be able to understand what I've been telling you now for months, and that is this. For the people is not a slogan. This is who they are. Over the last 30 years, they've collected over $13.5 billion worth of compensation for their clients because of the attorneys that they have working for them. I mean, 800 strong. You got an army of attorneys, and they're the biggest attorney firm in the country when it comes to getting your fair compensation for you and your family. Call them at 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600, 24/7, 7 days a week. The call is free. The consultation is free. 800-512-1600. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, tell them Big Sil sent you.
When choosing a lawyer for your injury case, you may ask, does the size of the law firm matter? Well, of course it does. The insurance company, they're huge with unlimited resources. And whether your case is big or small, they're built to bully you out of the money you're owed. But here's the good news. We're big too, the biggest actually. And we're built to fight to make them pay for all that was taken from you. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.